Hi, this is Pat Johnson in Psych 150, and in this mini lecture we're going to talk about types of reinforcers in operant conditioning. Now we're not talking about types of reinforcement, we're talking about types of reinforcers. So different types of consequences that increase behavior. And again, just to reiterate, let's make sure we understand in reinforcement, we're talking about any event that strengthens or increases the behavior it follows. So in reinforcement, the behavior is always going up. We have two types of reinforcers. We have primary reinforcers, and these are some of my favorite because it's any consequence that is innately reinforcing, meaning we don't have to learn it. We know that food is good, especially when we're hungry. That sunshine is good, especially when we're cold. In other words, these are things that will increase our behavior. Coffee is one of my favorite primary reinforcers. It's innately reinforcing. So if you were to give a baby warmth, if you were to give a baby food, and maybe not coffee, although my 3-year-old nephew loves coffee, if you were to give a baby a bottle, they would not have to be told, hey, this is what this means. They know that food and warmth and liquid is something that will increase behavior. Secondary reinforcers, sometimes called conditioned reinforcers, they are any consequence that gains its reinforcing power through its link with a primary reinforcer. We have to learn what they mean. Now, secondary doesn't mean they're lesser. It just means that we have to learn what they mean. So in other words, if I was to give a baby a $20 bill, well, they'd probably try to stick it in their mouth and eat it and make it a primary reinforcer. It's only with learning that we learn that, oh, money buys things, and so money's good, and money could buy food. So the money is buying the primary reinforcer. Grades are also a conditioned or secondary reinforcer. If the baby crawled and if I said, hey, good job, baby, here's an A+, that baby wouldn't know what the A+ means. But you, a college student, if you got a paper returned and there was an A+ on it, you know what that means. And enough good grades usually means a degree, which usually means a job, which usually means money, which usually means primary reinforcers. So that's the basics between primary and secondary reinforcers. Again, secondary are often called conditioned reinforcers. Primary are biological, they are innately reinforcing, where secondary are just as powerful, things like money or good grades, but we have to learn what they mean and their associations back to primary reinforcers.